What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Here we are, topic of Lille Regionals, and on the left we have Henry Brand, the world champion, fantastic player, right? Has a bunch of compliments you can see right there. Even outside of that, I think they have more. I know they have more outside of that, of course. And on the right, we actually have a new person. They haven't really seen too. I don't think has maybe been streamed before. I know this is their highest place in ever, and that's Alejandro. I do think they're maybe like a local, if I remember correctly, or close to by Lille. Well, I guess I have their thing pulled up. I can literally just see where they're from. So actually, Alejandro is from Spain. Think's what it is. So I guess, yeah, not from Lille exactly, but I think it's like very close to Spain, of course. But here we go. So we have Dragapult versus Tera. Now, this matchup is going to be pretty interesting. We also saw Henry prize 2 Drapies, and this could be a really bad thing. Because, you know, Alejandro does play the Water Ogerpon, and so they're going to try to use Water Ogerpon to take multiple knockouts in one turn, like knock out multiple Drapies, right? And that's going to be Henry's big thing. They don't play Shaman, so they can't block that. But the big thing about on Henry's side is they play Badu, and Badu could really hurt Alejandro if they do not get set up, right? But we do see Alejandro going second, so they'll most likely be able to use some kind of way to get the fan rotom, use that fan call, and start setting up. And that's what Alejandro really wants to start doing turn 1. So we see Buddy Poffin from Henry, coming double Dreepy. And we know that Henry is not playing the fast version of Dragapult. They're playing the, slow pull, as they would call it. But here we go into Alejandro's turn. We do see an Ultra Ball discarding a, what is that? I think that is an Iron Leaves. Yeah, Iron Leaves and a Lightning Energy. Now, this is the Tera box deck with like Pikachu, Terrapagos, Mega Mawile, Lily's Clefairy. So a bunch of interesting cards here. And I think Alejandro's deck is definitely built more to beat Henry's, for sure, right? Like I said, with the Water Pond and the Lily's Clefairy, they play the Sparkling Crystal. They play all these really cool cards. But the big thing here is Alejandro does play 4 Crispin. So they're going to be able to cycle these Water Ponds over and over again very easily. We see sometimes, maybe some lists only play 2 or 3, but this one playing 4 of them, trying to just get the Crispins out ASAP, right, and get these set up. But here we go. We see Hootoo Ditto. We see Crispin turn 1. This could find the Water Energy to the Ditto and the Energy to the bench, and then we can retreat into the Ditto, use Transform, and then find the Water Pond. So here we go. Imagine we are going to see a Water Pond here, and this Water Pond is pretty cool because now it's going to lock this Pheasant Dip in the active spot, and it's going to make it where Henry Brand is not going to be able to use Bud next turn, right? And this is what I was talking about. The 4 Crispin is very good because now we started with it, right? If not, I don't think Alejandro would have had a way to retreat and get this attack off. And there we see the Grass Energy, which is fine. It just needs a colors. We just need a Water Energy and a colors energy next turn, and we're good to go. But on to Henry's turn, we do see the Dragapult coming down. Look at top 2. And now this is going to be a big, it's going to be a big thing for Henry. Henry needs to find a way to get this Pheasant Dip out of the act spot and try to lock Alejandro, and especially because like I said, Henry only has access to 2 Dreepies, so this is gonna be a pretty big deal. Because if not, Alejandro might Ultra Ball for Noctowl and start going crazy, right? Yeah, so I'll have to see here. And does Alejandro actually plays Iron Bundle? So if Henry doesn't put down another Pokemon, Alejandro could put down the Iron Bundle, use his ability, and knock out double Dracloak that way. So we'll see if Henry puts down another Pokemon as well. That could be another big thing here. But we see we see double Recon being used. So Henry getting the double Dracloak out turn 2, which is fantastic. That's what you want to do here. And they have a boss sorter, so they're going to be able to boss up that Fan Rotom. And now just a pass, so just a pass onto Alejandro's side. So this could be a really big deal. Like I said, if Alejandro has a way to get the Iron Bundle out, we could see like a double knockout this turn. So we see a Noctowl come down. Now the Noctowl could grab 1 piece and then an Ultra Ball or something and then go about it that way. Oh, so we do have the Iron Bundle there. You can see Alejandro is eyeing that up. And let's see what else they grab here. So maybe the Sparkling Crystal. I think I would like to grab like a Sparkling Crystal and an Ultra Ball, then Ultra Ball for another Noctowl, and then go and like I know it's using 2 of these, but I think that way you can guarantee the way to retreat. So we see them eyeballing the Lilies. There's the air. So actually maybe going for the Air Balloon Crystal. Okay. What else is in Alejandro's deck? So they receive our hand. So we see the air balloon come down. We see the energy onto the wellspring. Gonna put that. We do see the balls. Oh, they actually have balls in hand. Now the big thing about this is I don't think Alejandro has any. Oh, so there's, yeah, they don't have any cards in the hand right now, but they will take a double knockout here, going down to 4 price cards, putting Henry Brand back to 0 pretty much. And now it's up to Henry Brand to not only get these Dreepies out, but to recycle these Dreepies, because right now they do not have any Dreepies left in the deck, and that's a big thing here. So Henry will have to use Night Stretcher. Let's see what else they have. I think Night Stretcher, no Super Rod. So yeah, only 2 Night Stretchers, and this is gonna be a really, and I keep saying these are really big deals, but this is gonna be a really big deal because now Henry only plays 2 Night Stretcher. There's really no easy way to get these Pokemon back out and play. They can get 1 out and they have to find double Night Stretcher, not like a Super Rod plus like Buddy Poffin thing, right? So this is they already have 1 in hand, so that's good. So at least we can get 1 out. But the problem is if you only get 1 out, Alejandro can most likely easily take a knockout on both, on one of them, right? And so that's gonna be a big thing here because this can snipe any of the bench ones. So Henry definitely desperately needs to get both of them out. Actually, we're eyeballing up the Badoo. Actually, okay, so we're probably trying to maybe bring up the Noctowl with Counter Catcher and lock it. I think that's what we're going to see from Henry here. And let's see if Henry can find a Counter Catcher or not. That's going to be the big thing here. And I don't see a Counter Catcher actually in the hand. So if this is the case, like, yeah, you can punch with the Badoo, but like, what does that get you? We see Henry going to Buddy Poffin, grabbing a Duskull. And this is going to be a big showing to Alejandro, showing like, hey, you know, Henry doesn't have any more Dreepies. We see double Duskull come down. And so now if like Henry retreats to Badoo and goes for item lock here, the problem is that Alejandro can knock out this and this pretty easily. So we see the item lock come down and we top deck a Crispin. This is what I'm talking about, the 4 Crispin build, and just be able to find these energies over and over again and kind of punish Henry, right? And the cool thing about Crystal, it counts as any energy. So Alejandro doesn't need that water. They can just attach any 2 energy they want to. We see a metal and that going, and just immediately, not even nothing else. So taking a knockout on the Badoo, taking a knockout on the Duskull, on the Henry's turn. And Henry still can't take a knockout here. This Pokemon needs 3 energies to swing. And so now if you're Henry, what do you do here? I guess maybe try to go for the play I was talking about. You try to boss Counter Catcher up the Noctowl, try to lock it or something. You could go for Blood Moon, attach an energy. That could be another way that we take a knockout this turn. Imagine Henry's playing it. They do play Blood Moon, so that could be something they could do as well. We also can maybe like, so we're going to go for the Noctowl play instead. Put an energy there. Going for the Lily. So we're looking for a Badoo, and we want to lock this Noctowl in the Axe spot. So that's what we do here. So the Counter Catcher, bring up the Noctowl. We see the Lily's Termination. Going to shuffle, draw 8. And now it's up to Henry to find a Badoo. And they do play 2 of them, so they can't draw into it. They have 1 Night Stretcher left as well, so they could find Night Stretcher. And I think I saw a Badoo with that top card there. No, it's not. I don't think I see one. You're going to set up Dusclops, and Henry's not giving up. Just going to pass here. Now on to Alejandro's turn. Can Alejandro take a knockout this turn? The big thing about these Tera Box decks is, like, as of right now, like, they don't have a really good way to deal a ton of damage, right? We see the Noctowl come down, and can Alejandro find a way to do a significant amount of damage this turn? That's what we want to see here. Can they do that? I don't think so, unless they go for like an Area 0 play and do something crazy. I do see the E-Switch. Okay. So what else do we have here? What else? So we need Area 0, so we could fill the bench up to make the bench wider, put it up to 8. Okay. So we see E-Switch, we see Nest Ball. Do they already have Area? So this Area 0. So Area 0 comes out. There's the Nest Ball. We get a Nest Ball for, do we go for Turtle here? What is, yep, there's a Turtle. Okay. Does Alejandro have a way to not only retreat this Noctowl, but to have Boss Order and to have an energy? Yeah, because that's a Turtle. Yeah, that's a turtle. That is a Turtle. That is definitely a Turtle. So we see the Turtle come down. We do have Boss Order in hand. There we see the Till Mask being used. Or the Till Mask being used. We see Nest Ball. This could grab, what do you grab here? Mew. And maybe go for a restart here. Also, if Henry bumps the Area 0, you can discard both Noctowls if you want to. Well, they have to retreat the Noctowl first. So let's see. We could just attach energy and retreat to the the Wellspring. There we go. And so now if Henry bumps the Stadium, you can discard both Noctowns. We see Latias come down, so now you can bump the multiple. Oh my goodness! And we have the Boss Order. Yep, Boss Order, the Fezidipity, restart for 1, and yeah, just going to swing here. So now that Fezidipity is stuck in the active spot, and you got to think that Alejandro can easily power up the turtle next turn. But what does Henry have here? Their best counter is to catch up the Noctowl. I think that's probably their best way. So we see an energy be attached to Latias, okay? But if you swing that Latias, you got to think that Alejandro has a way to take a knockout easily on that Latias, right? So that would not be good. We see Lily's Termination in. So there's a Boss Order actually own the Noctowl, not going for counter catcher. I'm just going to go pass here on Alejandro's turn. And can Alejandro... Okay, there's a Noctowl. And let's see. What do they find here? So they found Energy Switch, Turo. So we'll see the Night Stretcher for Lightning, Turo, Energy Switch and Energy to the Turtle. We can pick it back up, and then we swing with the Turtle for a ton of damage and take a knockout and knock out the Fezidipity. Yeah, that game was like... I feel like this matchup is already favored for Alejandro. But Henry prizing 2 Dreepies and then get knocked out pretty quickly. Turn 2, right? I think that was turn 2 knockout. Definitely put Henry in a bad situation. Now, Henry tried their best, like I said, just trying to like lock up Alejandro and make it where they can't retreat, can't attack, and stuff like that. But Alejandro was able to just keep constantly find a way to retreat out of it, kind of go about it that way. So Alejandro is showcasing why this Tera Box deck is still good. I'm always a fan of Tera Box. It's just like such a fun deck. There's so many openings, stuff like that. I do think it kind of struggles with like Golden Go, which is why I'm kind of scared to play this deck. But Alejandro is showing, you know what, here we are with the deck. Did they play any Golden Goes? That's my question. They did not play any Golden Goes, actually. Yep, did not play any Golden Goes. Hit a bunch of Guardies and a bunch of Dragapults, which is what you want to see with this deck, right? That's definitely what you want to see with this deck. They actually beat a Mega Absol deck, which is crazy. Okay, that's cool. I'm looking at their past, all the different stuff they did. But anyways, on to game number 2. Henry does start that the Badu. Hang on, I gotta rewind it real quick. I did not see Henry's prize cards. So Neo Upper, oh, that's like this is so bad. So the Neo Upper being prized makes it where Henry can't take an attack out of nowhere. Sparkling Crystal is definitely bad for Alejandro, but it's not as terrible as Neo Upper because Henry is going to try to pretty much get an attack out of nowhere, and that's what the Neo Upper does, because they have to manually attach 2 energies to these Dragapults, to the Dragcloaks, to the Dragapults, and Dragcloaks and all that kind of stuff, right? Alejandro, Sparkling Crystal being prized is somewhat bad, but they're going to be able to, crisp in, get the energies, get those set up. So not too bad as the Neo Upper. Yeah. But definitely, it still does hurt for Alejandro. But both ace decks being prized, I don't know what the odds of that. 1 out of 60 of both sides. The odds are probably like astronomical. But anyways, we see Henry dropping the. Actually, I think it's like 1 out of. It gets weird because like you draw cards first and then you put prize cards out. So the odds is definitely hard to figure out. But I don't know. There's probably some magicians out there that can figure it out. But Alejandro has a great turn 1. They get swing with this, and this is why I love these Tera Box decks, because you're able to swing so quickly. We see the ability to attach energy, Crispin to attach this. We can attach another energy, and yeah, we're going to start going crazy fast with this Teal Mask. So there's a knockout. Go down to 5 prize cards on Henry's turn. That's not good. We see Lily's Termination, and what Henry wants to do next turn is most likely just try to find like a Budu counter catcher, bring up Hoothoot, and try to lock up the Hoothoot in some way. I feel like that's probably your best out, because if not, Alejandro can Ultra Ball, 4 Boss Order, knock this out, and go to town. So we'll see what Henry does here. So we see the Dracula being used, and they do have Buddy Poff in the hand, and I love when players do this. They want to see Recon first before they Buddy Poffin, because Henry could maybe hit Pokemon and then put those down and then Buddy Poffin for even more Pokemon. And I think that's what Henry really wants to look for right now. Now, if it was later game, we might have done the opposite. We might have had like Buddy Poffin first and then go for a Dracloak, but Henry's trying to find multiple Pokemon to get set up here. So we see the Buddy Poffin being played, getting the Dreepy. You can see that Henry's trying to decide here. What do I grab? Do I go for this Budu play or do I go for this Dreepy play? So we do go for a Dreepy. Go for Duskull, actually. So go for Duskull, Dreepy. Okay. We do have another Ultra Ball in hand, so this could find the Budu. So they're actually considering going for the Duskull or the Dreepy, but goes for the Duskull, and I have to imagine that this Ultra Ball finds a Badoo here. We're going for Dusclops, actually. Okay, so my brain is, yeah, okay, yeah, we see the Dusclops come down. Now, the Dusclops doesn't actually knock out anything, which is interesting. The Dusclops comes down. It could be instantly knocked out from Alejandro, which is kind of scary. But we'll see if Henry I don't think Henry would use that. Yeah, just gonna pass. Just like try to thin the deck. I guess they couldn't retreat the Dusclops maybe because they're attaching energy to Dracloak and they don't want to like put down Latias, I imagine. I don't, yeah, because you have to like put down Latias to retreat Duskull, and I don't think they have like double Ultra Ball to get down Latias and the Badoo. But yeah, anyway, so Alejandro's turn, we see a Metal and a Lightning being discarded, and Alejandro could go for a knockdown, go for Boss Order if they want to, and like boss up the Dracloak, take a knockout on it. I think that's a really, really strong play. I think the only thing that Alejandro was missing turn one was unfortunately a Fein Rotom, because then they can find multiple Hoothoos and the Noctows. But I mean, turn one knockout on Badoo is, you know, stupid strong anyway. So we do see the Ultra Ball. Let's see what Ultra Ball finds. You had to go for Noctow here. And yep, I'll go for Lily's Termination maybe. That's not a bad thing either. Just like shuffle draw on 6 is never a bad thing, especially when you don't have more Hoothoos set up. But the only problem is that Dragapult could become a Dragapult, and we could see, you know, a knockout with like a Dusclops on the active, put the in like do 200 damage kind of thing. So we see the Boss Order Nast Ball. So we're actually going for the Noctowl play. And I like this play more because you knock out the Dracloak, forcing Henry not to be able to swing next turn. And you get a Hoothoot down, so now you evolve into Noctowl and keep this like rampage going of Boss Order. How many Boss Orders do they play? That's my question. They do play 2 Boss Orders. So we see the Boss Order come up. We see Air Balloon. We see the Psychic Energy being attached. Okay, not going to attach and just going to swing for a knockout. All right, so on to Henry's turn. We see the Draco come down. We're going to use Recon Directive, look at top 2. And now what Henry wants to do, I think so Alejandro did put an Air Balloon on the Noctowl. So the Badoo play plus that is not really as strong. We do see the Blood Moon come down. We're going to pop that, knockout, do 50 to the Duskull. Now we see the Blood Moon come up. We see Iono, going to put Alejandro at 3. Henry could find another Dusclops here. Knock out the Hoothoot, knock out the Teal Mask, and be in a fantastic spot. But Henry has to find another Dusclops here. We do have the... Okay, so I think we have it. I think we have the knockout with the Dusclops on the Teal Mask. Yeah, right. So you got to put the Ultra Ball, get the Dusclops, put 50 here, knock out the Hoothoot. You swing the Blood Moon because now Alejandro is at 2 price cards. You only need 1 to attack with Blood Moon, and then... Yeah, what does Alejandro do there? You're left with the field with just Noctowl. So we'll have to see what happens here. So we see the Dusclops come down. We see a Nest Ball, or no, is that Buddy Buddy Poffin? Looks like Buddy Buddy. It's either one, Buddy Buddy Poffin or Nest Ball. I think it's Buddy Buddy Poffin. Yeah, I think so if I had to take a bet. So we see it pop onto the Hoothoot, taking a knockout. Alejandro will go down to 2. Henry will go down to 5. We're going to see Henry Brand take a knockout, going down to 3 price cards. Now on to Alejandro. What do they find here? They do have the Buddy Buddy Poffin, and the big thing here is Alejandro has Wellspring. So this Wellspring is actually going to be a pretty big deal because you can then lock this Blood Moon in the active spot, and then Alejandro just needs to find a way to knock out the Blood Moon the next turn. Now, it will take some damage because of the Wellspring, and so that's definitely going to put a chip in it. Going to bring it down to 240, and so like Alejandro could maybe find a way to get a turtle powered up, maybe go for a Pikachu or something. Whoa, my goodness. Actually going for the Fan Rotom pass, no energies, onto Alejandro turn. So now Alejandro has to retreat this Blood Moon. It still can't attack this turn. It has that effect where you can't attack again twice. And so now Henry, what do they do here? They don't have Neo Upper, so they're not going to be able to attack with the Dragapult this turn. Their best bet is to like find Latias, retreat to Badoo, and punch. I think that's probably the best play that Henry could do this turn. We could go for a Dragapult knockout for 70 on the Rotom, and that will take a knockout, right? But then you have to be scared of Lily's Clefairy coming out and taking a knockout on you. And we are committing to a Hilda, so we've not seen Iona from Henry. And so now, okay, are we going to go for the Jet Headbutt here? We will knock out the Fan Rotom. We'll also go down to 2 price cards, but then it's going to be up to Alejandro to find like Lille's Clefairy. I think that's their best out here. So we see the Fire to Jade being attached. We're gonna go for the we're gonna pass. There's the Lanius. So we got the free treat. Gonna put out the Dragapult. Oh my goodness. All right, so we're gonna see Henry take a knockout here. Going down. Oh, actually, just passes. Okay. Wait. So I think what we saw was Alejandro also just passed here. Yeah. So I think what we just saw, if you're curious, is we saw Alejandro just pass onto Henry's turn. Henry then Ultra Balls for Hawlucha. Okay. We see the Draco. So now Henry just needs an energy and they can win this turn. Well, actually, not. So put one here, one here. Okay. And then now if Henry can find a ball sort of bring this up, they win the game. Yep. All right. And there we go. Henry takes it. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Okay. So we're going to go to game number 3. Henry just smacking that gum, just having their best time of their life. Wow. That was crazy. That was crazy. I thought it was going to be over. I thought for sure, Alejandro finding all those Pokemon when they got Iono'd, I was like, okay, it's over. Like, Alejandro's going to have the outs to it, but didn't have anything. And smartly enough, Henry doesn't attack the Fan Rotom. So that means it's one less card that Alejandro, like one less bench spot for Alejandro. Now, I know they could find, they could find Area 0, get up to 8, but you had to find the Area 0 as well as the Lily's Clefairy kind of thing, right? So yeah, and also when you don't take a knock on the Fan Rotom, you make it where Alejandro doesn't have access to Fezandipity. Did they play Fezandipity? They had to play Fezandipity. Yeah, so they do play Fezandipity. And on to game number 3, wow, that was a lot of. Hang on. Let's rewind this real quick. So Henry Price, Budew, Draco. Okay, so Latios is actually probably the most important thing. Hawlucha could be a big deal as well. Alejandro Prize and Pikachu, and that's pretty much it. Nothing else too crazy. But Alejandro has a fantastic start instead of last game. So they have the Ditto, they have the Fan Rotom. We go see the Fan Rotom, we get a bunch of Pokemon out. They actually opt to go first, try to be super aggressive. So you see double Hoothoot come down. We see the Ditto being used. We're going to find probably Wellspring. Do we go for the Wellspring here? Yep, there's the Wellspring. And if they have energy, they can go about it. And both players have access to their A-Specs this game too. So that's great. We can see, Alejandro maybe get, a quick knock, start put some pressure onto Henry. And Henry, unfortunately, this is probably the worst news for Henry, is they start the Blood Moon. Now, I say this is the worst news because, remember, Henry prized that Latias. Latias usually gives that Blood Moon free retreat. Obviously, it gives a free retreat, Josh. But now Henry doesn't have a way to retreat this Blood Moon. Henry does play one Turo, and that's it. Oh wow. Alejandro starts the Crystal in the hand as well. That's insane. We see Turtle come down, and we see pass on to Henry's turn. So Alejandro could be super aggressive next turn. They can maybe go Crispin, start taking some knockouts. We see on the Henry's turn, immediately it looks like they go for a Buddy Poffin. Right? I think that's what we see here. Now, they still have 40 minutes on the clock, so this game is definitely going to 100% finish. I know they have an extended 75 minutes and somebody has to win, but it's not going to be based off of prizes that we see sometimes in these situations. So we have a full 42 minutes. That's going to be enough time for both players. Looks like we see a Dreepy, and what else is Henry contemplating? Looks like we're going to get a Dusknoir actually. Now this is kind of scary. Now I know Henry does have a supporter card in hand, but what if they don't hit another Pokemon here? What if they don't draw into any more Pokemon? Yeah, they're gonna Iono, put both players at 6 cards. Henry hypothetically they should hit it right with 6 new cards. All right, so they do hit it, Buddy Poffin. I was a little scared, I'm not going to lie, because if Henry whiffs that, then Alejandro can just start taking knockouts on the Dreepies and stuff. Oh, get 3 Dreepies. Yeah, we're showing. Yeah, we don't have 2 prize like we did in game 1. Also, does Henry have different artwork Dreepies? Can we help? Is this 3 different artwork Dreepies or the same? If this is different, can somebody hook Henry brand up, give him a sponsor, and give him some good Pokemon cards that all match? But on Alejandro's turn, we have 2 Mask in hand, we have the Noctowl, we have Ball Sword, we have a lot of resources in hand, and I'm curious to see what Alejandro is going to do. So they can go for a Crispin here. Looks like we see a Nest Ball. The Nest Ball could find the Iron Bundle, which I love this play a lot. So we could see Nest Ball plus Crispin. They already have Crispin in the hand too, so wow, all right. So Crispin already in the hand as well. So we see Nest Ball, see Airy Zero. Gonna put down the Airy Zero, put down the put that down. Gonna promote the Dreepy actually. Okay. So if you're Alejandro here, I like the play of actually knocking out the Dreepy and the Duskull. If I'm being honest, I like that play a lot more because obviously Henry is like, I think. Do you go after double? Maybe you go after double Drapey because that Henry doesn't play Rare Candy, and like, I know you give Henry access to the Dusclops, but maybe just making it where they can't set up is probably the better play. We see the Tilmass being used. We have the Metal Energy in hand. We see the Mew come down, Metal Energy, restart for 1. Yeah, so what is Alejandro? So I'm gonna go for Dreepy Dusk. Okay, and that's what I was kind of thinking too, because like Henry already has 2 out, and you can knock out both next turn, hypothetically speaking, right? So we'll see if Alejandro could do that. Alejandro could go for like a Energy Switch, Energy Ball Sorter kind of like Energy Switch, Energy Ball Sorter play to knock out double Dreepy. We see Energy going down to the Blood Moon, Ball Sorter, bring up the knocked out pass. So Henry doesn't have anything. Oh my goodness, this is terrible if you're a fan of Henry, right? If you want to see Henry win, this is not what you want to see here. Yeah, this is not good. But now Alejandro is in a very interesting spot. And this is always what's happening with these knocked out decks. They have to find a way to pick up this knocked out. Now they do play Air Balloon, so they can go like Air Balloon, Boss, Energy Switch, Energy Attach, knock out both Dreepies. Like that would be insane. So we see the Energy Switch up there. We see the Wellspring come up. We see the Stretcher get back to Grass Energy, going to use the ability. We do have Ball Sorter in the hand. But we see Lily's Termination here. Okay, so Lily's Termination is going to shuffle and draw 6 because they already took a price card. They do play 2 Energy Switch, so they could still go for the Energy Switch play, but will we just see a Sob lock here? That was one thing we might just see Alejandro do. There we go. I think they were saying, hey, we can't see your card. What card you used? I think that's what just happened there. But all right, so Alejandro's still turn. So they don't have a way to attack. So they're gonna go for the knocked out, and they could go Vessel Energy Switch. Energy Switch will allow them to take a knockout, own the Dreepy on the bench, but do you want to do that right now? We'll see if Alejandro wants to do that. So we actually see Nest Ball and Earth and Vessel come down. I don't think you go after the Dreepy right now because then Blood Moon can easily attack. So we see the Lightning and Metal go in the hand. Can Alejandro take a knockout with Tera? No, there's no way. It only does 30 for each, so yeah, that doesn't work. Oh, Mega Mawile could do 260, take a knockout, but that's a lot as well. So we see the Metal Energy going to the Tera, and then we see Sob for 20. And what they did is they not only locked this Blood Moon in the active spot, but now they put they made it where it's what Turtle could maybe take a knockout next turn. 8, 9, 10. So that's 10. So that is 300. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, wait, right? For each of your Pokemon wants to. Yeah, so I'm so used to Mega Rayquaza. So 1, 2, 3. So 8. Yeah, so 240. That's what I thought. So with 8, it's 240 plus 20 is 260. That's what I thought. I thought you had to punch once and then do the 30 times. So there we go. So now Turtle will come up. Turtle will take a knockout. And then leave out Hollander at 2. And then, they're in a fantastic spot from there, right? Yeah. So Henry didn't counter the Area 0 either, which Henry needed to. They also didn't find any Dracloaks once again, which is really bad. We see the Nest Ball, so this could find maybe Pikachu. That could be something really cool to start setting up. We see the Lily's Clefairy. That could be something nice as well to threaten for the Dragapult and stuff like that. Yeah, so actually not going to go for the Lily's Clefairy. Interesting. Going to go for Latias for the free retreat. I like either Latias. We're gonna go Pheasantipity. Okay, so I like the Pheasantipity actually the most, right? So you can use Flip the Script, take a knockout, and then they knock out your Turtle. You can then draw 3 cards with Pheasantipity and stuff like that. It is like kind of like a sitting duck for like Blood Moon. Blood Moon can like counter catcher, knock out kind of thing. That could be somewhat scary, but 3 cards for Alejandro. I do think I see the grass. They're gonna be able to draw a card, and now they have this like Tealmass like kind of ready to go as well. It could do a ton of damage. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. So we see Ultra Ball in Alejandro's hand. They do have one more Huthu that to use next turn, which is great. So go ahead and use Ultra Ball. Going to thin the... so they're going to get a Pokemon. I don't think you go for Noctowl here. What you could do is Ultra Ball for a Pokemon you don't. Like Fan Rotom and just put in the hand just in case you get Iono that goes to the bottom of the deck. I don't think you need to commit anything. Yeah, I like Ultra Ball for Fan Rotom and just saying, you know what? I'm putting this on the bottom of my deck if you Iono me next turn. That's what I think would happen. So I'm going to go for Wellspring, actually. Okay, so they actually didn't have enough to actually get the turtle knockout. They only had 6 Pokemon, so it makes sense there. So water, we see Crispin being used. Get the water G, get the grass, attach the grass here, take a knockout on Blood Moon, go down to 2 prize cards. I imagine that's what we're going to see here. Yeah, I don't think we'll see it. I guess you could hypothetically go for Saw Block. Hear me out. You can maybe go for Saw Block. Henry can't attack, and then you can boss double, knock out double Dreepy, but I think this is still fine. Because Henry, once again, doesn't play Rare Candy. So if Henry just like attacks a Budew, then Wellspring can take a knockout pretty easily, right? There's another Crispin here. Henry needs to counter catcher, bring up Noctowl, and get it stuck in the other spot with Budew. I think that's the best play. We see the Hoothoot being crossed out. The Hoothoot being crossed out, the only way you could do that is if you find Blood Moon counter catcher knockout, but then like you leave Alejandro with a bunch of cards in their hand. They've already committed to Hilda, so we definitely are not going to see that come down. Like a no Iona this turn. So we see Dragapult being used. Look at top 2. And yeah, remember if Henry just goes punch with the item lock, Alejandro can you know, maybe find Crispin, take a knockout, and take a double win, and take a double knockout win, right? So Henry does not finding anything that early, like turn 2, turn 3 kind of thing with no drag cloaks or anything was like really, really bad. Remember, Alejandro plays 4 Crispin. I think they've only played 1 so far, maybe 2, but I really do think it's just 1. So not looking good. Yeah, there's the 10, and show me Crispin. There's Energy, Boss Order. Actually, just take a knockout. Okay, that's just as strong. Yeah, that's just as strong. You know what? You still can't attack because you don't play Rare Candy in your deck. All right. Yep. There's Neo Upper. We do have the Iono, but the Iono is only going to do so much. Henry has to find a counter catcher, bring up Noctowl, and just hope they don't have an energy. That's going to be the big thing here. So, do we have counter catcher? And we don't have counter catcher, and that means Henry will lose this game, unfortunately. I don't think, yeah, there's nothing Henry could do here. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking. Like, I guess they can stretch her for, Dracloak. Trying to find a counter catcher, right? And so there's a Dracloak. There's this. Do we find a counter catcher or not? And nope. And I don't know what you do here. And that's going to be game. And Alejandro will take it 2-1. What a crazy game. First game, you know, pricing all the dream piece of stuff. Game 2, like having that double, you know, double Dusclops to knock out the only Hoothoot and put them down to like low hand cards and stuff like that. Game 3, Henry does not be able to get set up, and I really do think like this no Rare Candy build definitely kind of struggle. And I think if you're not playing Rare Candy, do you opt to play Shaman in your deck? That could be something that we could maybe want to see. But I mean, Henry, you know, lost in top 8 is like still fantastic. Like, let's look at their matches real quick. Did they hit any other Tera deck? They did hit one other Tera deck, and they did tie it. But outside of that, they didn't hit any of the Tera box decks. So, very interesting. Very good games for both players. And we're going to go into top 4 now. So, yeah, we'll see tomorrow for top 4, guys. Alrighty.